Okay, your tens. This screencast is a backup to today's working class on statistics, what we're going to do is continue with the data that we collected, and I'm just going from memory now, and I reckon this is probably about right. Scores, frequency. So what I want to do in this screencast is just recap some of the important stuff from today. Clarify one or two things, but then also move into graphing doing some statistics, and as we talked about today, doing statistics is making sense of data, and so part of that will be to construct a column graph and a dot plot, and also want to look at frequency percentages. So let's get to work on this. Our scores went from 1 to 5. You nominated them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the frequencies were 1, 3, 8. I hope this is right. 3 and 2. And if we just get it organised like this, then what we had, I think, down here as a total was 17. We then worked out a frequency times score, when our frequency is f and our score is x, to be 1, 6, 24, 12, and 10, which add up to 53. So that and then just to get this information, our mode was equal to 3, our range was equal to 4, our mean is equal to 53 divided by 17, which, if we do a quick calculation, 53 divided by 17, which is 3.12, and our median, which is our middle score, 17 scores means it was a 9th score, which we counted down here, 1, 4, 12, so that was a 3. So median was a 3. Okay, I want to add another column on here, and that column I want to represent the frequency percentage, percentage frequency. So in this column, we're representing the frequency here as a percentage of the overall frequency. So to work out, so our frequency of the score 1 is 1 out of 17. Now to turn that into a percentage, we times by 100. And so that gives us 1/17 times 100. 1 divided by 17 times 100 gives us 5.9. So the next one will be 3 over 17 times 100, which will be 17.6%. I just sort of ran out of room here, didn't I? 8 out of 17 times 100 gives us 47.1%. 3 out of 17 times 100 gives us 17.6%. We'd already worked that out. And 2 out of 17 times 100 gives us 11.8%. Alright, so now those percentages, 15, 16, should add up to 100%. Right there. Okay, so we've got the percentages. That just looks like a bit of a mess. That's 5.9% there. And if I just 5.9%, and the 3 was 17.6%. Those percentages will add up to 100. And if I just put my working out, say for that one, it's 1 over 17 times 100, which gets us 5.9%. This one here is 3 over 17 times 100. Okay, so we need to be able to work out what our percentage frequencies are, and that's how to do it. Okay, so that will be a requirement in the work requirements that we'll get on with tomorrow. Okay, so now if we just move on to drawing firstly a column graph. Now a column graph. Let's get a little heading up here. A column graph, and you can take this heading down as well, please. Is just a way of representing our data, and it's a fairly straightforward way of doing so. So on the vertical we'll have our scores, along the horizontal we'll have our scores, along the vertical we'll have our frequency. So this will be our frequency, this will be our scores. You should use a ruler, please. Our frequencies go up to top of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's perfect. That's 8. That's 4. That's 2. That's 6. And our scores go 1 to 5. So that will be 1. And that will be, so that'll be 1 there, and it'll be a square going like that, and then it will be a gap of 1. I don't know if my column graph and my gaps need to be the sort of same, so what I might do is have my column so that will be 1, and the frequency is 1, so I just go up 1 square there. So I'll get out my ruler and 1 square. Now I have to go a gap of 2 squares before I put in my second score, gap of 2 squares. This column is going to be 2 squares all along, so this is my next score here, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4 between each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 3 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's number 5. So I just need to extend my horizontal a little bit. And okay, now I can get to drawing my columns. The reason I was taking my time there was I need to get my column width and my gaps the same. It sounds a bit pedantic, but that's the way it is. Frequency of 3 on my number 2, so I go up to 3 and across, so that's my column there for 2. 3's got a frequency of 8, so that's going all the way up. And so that's my column for 3. For 4, I've got a frequency of 3, so I'm back down here for 4. 5's got a frequency of 2, so that's my column 5. Okay, so my column graph is drawn, and the technical points are that we have our column widths are all the same, and our gaps in between our columns are also equal. We will do a histogram when we look at some what we call continuous data or some group data. But column graph works well for what's called discrete data, which is what this is. These scores are discrete whole numbers. So a column graph works well there. We're just going to have a look at one other type of graphical technique, which is a dot plot, which is very, very straightforward. Dot plot. Now in a dot plot, we just have a horizontal axis, trying to draw straight lines, and along that horizontal axis we put our scores. 1, I'm going to have a gap of 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it's just 1, 2, 3, 5. I'm just labouring that point, but you do need to make sure you space your scores evenly along your axis. Okay, so there are our 5 scores, and all I'm going to do here is put my frequency along the vertical bit. The frequency is represented by dots, hence the dot plot. So 1 dot for number 1, and I'll get a big fat blue dot out here, and that'll be my 1. Number 2, score 2 has a frequency of 3, so he's going to get 3 dots. 1, and we need to make sure they're vertical and they're evenly spaced as well. Score 3 has 8 dots. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get the idea, and then it's 3, 2. For 4, 1, 2, 3, and 5 is 1, 2. Okay, so that's how to draw a dot plot. If you could add this to your notes, please, from today. your column graph and dot plot for the data that we collected today. And I'd also like you to do exercise 9A. That's on page 564. And if you could do questions just 1, 2, and 3, please, that would be perfect. 1, 2, and 3, and I'll see you in class tomorrow. Cheers.